Hey everybody, it's Sheri, Mountain Mama, coming to you today for Mel. She's feeling a little under the weather, and so she needed a sub to handle today's Back to Basics weight loss channel vlog. And today we're talking about transfer addictions. Um, I believe there's a reason for everything, and I think the reason that I'm doing this today is because I have some background with this. Not personally per se with an addiction, but I have a lot of addiction in my family. And my first husband became an alcoholic, addicted to alcohol during our marriage. And I have actually worked in a drug and alcohol facility. I also work with three mental health clients, and two of those three coincidentally have drug and alcohol addictions as well. So I'm very familiar with AA and this subject. Not for me personally, again, but many ways in my life I've been around this and I deal with this. Also in nursing school, we hit on it in psychology classes. So with that being said, the reason I started this video off with that song is it's one of my favorites, and our question for this week is, have you developed an addiction to another thing since giving up food or bad foods during your weight loss surgery journey? And I would have to answer that with a no and a not yet, because I know that I do have an addictive personality, and also genetically I have a lot of addiction in my family, mostly to alcohol. And so while I have not yet had a problem with transfer addiction, I know I have to be very careful of that because I'm susceptible to it. I'm also not at goal yet, and I think that a lot of transfer addictions, from what I see, happen after people reach goal. A lot of that having to do with shopping or drinking, partying, which obviously I'm kind of partial to because I love to have a good time. Now, if so, and you do have an addiction, what are they? And are they worried about those cross addictions becoming a problem later in your journey? Like I said, yes, I do worry about that later in my journey. Once I meet goal, I may have issues, just as some of you do, but I'm not there yet. The key to that is being aware of it and being proactive to it. So I wanted to touch a little bit on, the nerdy girl in me, the science geek in me. I wanted to touch a little bit about what addiction is. Addiction is basically something you cannot control. It is whatever your it thing is. It controls you, and you become dependent on it to get through your daily life. You can't go a day without it, or a day without thinking about it, of how you're going to have it, whatever it may be. I made these little cards to, it's going to be kind of hard to get it on here. Addiction, you do not have control, it controls you. It's psychological and physical in combination. Now, that's something I wish I knew during my first marriage. I felt like when my ex-husband became an alcoholic that he was just choosing that lifestyle and that substance over me and over our child. And of course I wasn't having any of that. I was out of there. I didn't understand until later in life, when I worked at a drug and alcohol facility, that he needed help, and that it wasn't just him choosing that. It was psychological, it was physical, working together against him. Would it change what I've done? No, I wouldn't change my life. I wouldn't change a thing. but I do wish I was more understanding at that time and would have helped him get the help that he needed back then. Second thing, there's a difference between habits and addictions, okay? If you ask my kids, they would say that I'm addicted to Facebook and YouTube and my Monster Rehab Red Rojo tea. Um, they would probably say I'm addicted to lipstick. And they would say I'm addicted to these lovely little paint samples that you get in any hardware store or Walmart. Yes, I use them for everything. I use them in college for flashcards, and I use them for notepads. I'm frugal, and they're pretty. What else can I say? It's one of my quirky things. But paint samples are great. They're free, and they're pretty, and you can use them for just about anything. Bookmarks, whatever. So, but anyway, my point is my kids would say I'm addicted to those things, but really they're habits, because the difference is a habit is done by choice, and you can control whether you do it or not. It's not psychological, it's not physical. There's no psych and physical component there wrapped together that are making it impossible for you to stop doing that habit. A habit we can control. We can help ourselves with that. With an addiction, we need help from outside sources to kick. There's two different kinds of addictions. There's physical addictions, which is pretty much anything we put in our bodies, like, or that we consume: alcohol, drugs, food, supplements, laxatives. I've seen that one, a big one in the diet world. So pretty much anything physical that you stick in your mouth. And then there's abstract addictions also. Gambling, work, exercise, sex, internet. Whenever you get these things to a point where you spend more time on that than anything else, or thinking about that more than anything else, and you just need more and more and more in order to be happy, yeah, that's an addiction. Even though it's not a food or necessarily something you're putting in your mouth, it can be something you do. Addiction leads to dependency, which then usually leads to tolerance. In other words, if you're addicted to something, you become dependent on it. You've got to have it every day. You think about it all the time. And then the amount of whatever it was that you started with is not enough anymore. Your body becomes tolerant, and you need more and more of whatever that it thing is for you to get the same result, to get that same feeling. And so this is a big red flag between a habit and an addiction. You know, I can drink one Monster a day and be happy with it, but if I need 3 a day to feel the same as I did when I had 1 a day, I'm becoming addicted. And that can happen with nicotine or caffeine as well. You know, if you need more caffeine or more nicotine than you had before, then yeah, you're becoming addicted, chances are. Let's talk about some signs to see if you're addicted to something. Have you tried to stop and can't? Have you ever felt withdrawal? If you haven't had that Monster, or you haven't had that cigarette for so many hours or even a day, have you felt withdrawal symptoms? Or do you keep a lot of whatever it is you crave on hand? Do you have a secret stash? Those are good signs that you're addicted. I just want to put out there at the end of this that there is always hope. There is help available. Addiction for anything can be diagnosed and treated. I'm learning this in nursing school and in our psych classes. Listen to the people that love and care about you. Listen to the people that are around you the most or know you the best. If they are sensing something and bringing up to you that they're concerned, listen to their concerns. There's so much out there available. Treatment programs can be inpatient, outpatient. They can be individualized. You can get a sponsor. You can go to counseling and psychotherapy. There's medications to help you through withdrawal. There's self-help groups like AA. There's even Overeaters Anonymous. I've never been to that, but I do have a mental health client who attends AA and Overeaters Anonymous faithfully, and they're very helpful to her. And they're completely free and personal. You know, there's so much help out there that's available. And the other thing I want to point out too is don't just do it for yourself. There is always hope. There's always people who will help you out there. You just have to start looking for it. And then many of the people that run these things or work in these positions are people who have overcome addictions themselves from the same exact thing that you're addicted to. And I like to tell people that, look, once you fight this fight and get over what you're addicted to, you could be that person out there leading the group. You could be that person leading one individual as a mentor to get through what you've gone through. So grab onto the hope, use it to change your own life, and then turn around and help somebody else. Pay it forward. A lot of these people in this field that treat addiction are people that have been through it. They know exactly how you feel, and so they're best equipped to help you. You know, one of my favorite sayings is check yourself before you wreck yourself. Now, I don't only tell people that as a warning whenever they're pissing me off. I mean it. It's a daily thing. You should check yourself before you wreck yourself in your own eyes. But like, is there anything in your life that could possibly be an addiction, or could one of your habits be really close to that thin line of becoming an addiction? Check yourself. Look at some of these tests, you know, these symptoms, and really evaluate yourself and say, you know what, is this monster okay, or am I getting to where I need it every single day? As long as you're in control and it's just a habit and you're sure of that, great, you're good to go, you know. And so, just like my music said, I want to rock and roll and party. That's just the way I am. I love to dance. I love to have fun and laugh with my friends. And I like to have a couple drinks. But it's a habit because I'm in control of how often I do it. I'm in control of who I do it with, where I do it, how much I have to drink. If I'm the designated driver and I just want to go dancing with my friends, I'm in control of it. It's a habit, okay? So as long as you're in control and you've checked yourself and you're not going to wreck yourself, Mountain Mama says, party on, peeps. Okay, so I hope Mel's feeling better. I hope this was a little bit of good information for you guys. It's getting kind of long. I tend to talk a lot. Y'all know that if you know me by now. But it's only because I want you to understand what addiction is. I want to prevent anyone from getting transfer addictions. And if you already are addicted to something, I want you to get the help. This is the kick in the ass that you're needing. Do something about it and do it now, today. Love you guys. Party on. Have a great week.